Hello folks, welcome to the Whiskered Woodcarver. I'm Jeff C., a visual marketing and live video consultant, and I'm so excited to have you on the show. If you don't know what this show is, it's me talking with my friends and carving for 30 minutes. We usually have a topic, and we just kind of go from there, and I love to pull up people and talk with them in the comments. And that's the show. So happy to join us. I'm happy that you joined us. One of the things that we're doing this week is that I am giving away two of these little penguins that we carved earlier. Yes, to the people who share out this show the most and the most creative. So my pal George is in the running so far for one of these, and there's a couple people in second place. I'm not really sure. So you got to beat George, and you got to do some sharing and some creative posts with this. And I'll do a little here. I'll do a little screen cap. Okay, if you can go back and capture that and share that out. But tag me in it so I know that you're sharing it, and we will get started. I am going to go ahead and go to the old carving cam here, and we'll get started. What we are carving is one of the first things I ever did is this No-See-Em Santa. It's pretty rough, so we're going to try to see if we can make it look a little bit better this second time around. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But yeah, that's what we're going to be carving today. And our topic for today is what motivates you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What do you like? It's like Tuesday, which I think is one of the hardest days to, it's not Wednesday, it's not hump day or whatever. It's actually, you got another day. Tomorrow's so what do you use to stay motivated? What tools do you use? What do you tell yourself? I want to know. And everyone in the comments want to know. So let's go ahead and get started carving. As always, we put on our safety apparatus because I have gone to the hospital before with some stitches. So we're not going to do that. This is a cut-proof glove, and this is just a leather thumb guard that I like to use because it's easy to slip on and off. It works pretty well. So, and then we always sharpen our knives. Oh, and I guess I got something from Amazon. Did you hear that? So anyway, we'll kind of rub some more of the sharpening compound on this. This stuff lasts forever. I've still used the first one that came with like my carving kit, so this stuff lasts pretty good. Kathy says, these are so cute. Thank you, Kathy, and I'm assuming this is my neighbor watching this. Thank you. Hey, Carrie, good to see you here today. Thank you for stopping by. It's always awesome to see you here. So I'm gonna sharpen my favorite knife, my knife from Helvey. We might get some other ones out today. We'll see. I've got some get around old Santa's nose there, maybe a little tough. So we're just going to put a couple, sharpen it up, hone it up just a little bit, and then we will get to going. Oh, I forgot to set up my timer. I always forget that. Somebody should remind me. Okay, so 30 minutes, see how far we get today. I like putting that timer on so people know how much time they have to invest, and also how much you can do in just 30 minutes a day on something. And in these times, it's kind of nice to not watch the news and do something with your hands. So here we go. This is how far we got so far. What is this, day 3 on this one? Day 2, day 3? I think it's day 3. So pretty good. We have been just kind of taking some wood off. We'll continue to do that today. So here we go. I think we'll get pretty far today. Started rounding off the fringe of his hat. So still gonna have to work on. I mean, very, very. This is like my first one, and I haven't done this one in a while. So let's see if I can remember what I'm doing. So how do you stay motivated? What are some of your tricks and tips that you do? I have some I'll share, but I want to know about what you guys like to use to stay motivated. Is there a certain habit you do, or a tool that you use? Some people like to do the 5-minute journal. I've heard of that before. And I actually started journaling a little bit this year. My wife, she has notebooks ever since we've been married 25 years, I think, and she has journaled every day that I can remember. and I'm never allowed to look at them. So we'll probably have to burn them when she said. But yeah. So I started journaling. So I actually do it digitally, and mine's like on my iPad. And I have to use my thumbprint so no one else can read it, because I love my wife, but do I trust her? I don't know. No, I do. But I use that, and so that, and it's an app called Day One, and that's been really helpful for me to journal. Ashley says my hubby journals. Ashley, great to see you here. So your husband journals a lot. Does he do it like old school writing out, or is he like me and uses an iPad? So Carrie says, when I have a little win, that is very motivating. Sometimes I have to let it happen and then ride the wave. That's great. Surf the wave. Carrie Ray, surfing the wave. Yeah. Little wins. That's what does it. So do you write those down somewhere, Carrie? How do you keep track of your little wins? Or do you just let them happen? So for Mixer, Rimson Ma, I think I said that right. What type of wood? So the wood that I am using is basswood. It's what I'm using. So I really like carving on basswood. It's light, grain's tight, and it's pretty easy to carve. So Ashley, he says that her husband writes in little notebooks. Are those little field manuals, Ashley, that he uses? So Carrie says, I just let them happen, but I lean in when they do. That's awesome. So what I have done, like when I do speaking engagements or something like that, or I get a good, somebody says something nice, and on one of the live shows or something, I'll put it in Evernote, I'll copy it, and then when I feel like, when I get nervous before a speaking gig or a show or something, I have this file that I can look at to know that, hey, I'm not as bad as I think I am. So Ashley goes, yes. So he does use those he writes them in little notebooks. So we'll kind of turn this in. So Carrie says, I do try, though, to find the motivation. Been working on my new site and email setup. It's been bogging me down for a couple hours. Needed a break. Well, I'm glad you came here and take a break. Carrie, feel free when you get it done to drop it in the comments, because I'd love to see your work. I do try to pop in your group, your Facebook group, every once in a while. This is your break. Good. This is my break too. I'm in the middle of editing some videos. I thought I always want to stop and get away from that kind of stuff for a while. Carving seems to do that for me. Thanks, Ashley. Says, you do a great job. Been gardening lately. Great. Hey, Heather from over on Twitch. I think I figured out, Heather, make sure, hopefully when you go live, I have it to auto stream to your channel. I think I figured that out today. Oh, you're hosting me. Thank you, Heather. You are awesome. The site, Carrie says her site should be done tomorrow. How many hours, Carrie, do you think you've been putting into it? So, Heather, we're talking about motivation and like tools and what we use to motivate ourselves. It's kind of a Tuesday. It's kind of one of those days. The news ain't great. So what do you do to keep motivated? And if you don't know Heather, she is an incredible artiste. She has a channel over on Mixer and everywhere. I met her back in the Google Plus days. Amazingly creative. Her art is incredible. So you need to check her out. Heather, make sure you leave all your info in the comments. So I figured I needed to take some more wood off around the hat brim so I have some more, because I like to round things off. I'm gonna have to take a lot of wood off right here and on the corners to round it up, and I'm going to need some more space to do that with the top of the hat. So I'm just going around it and cutting some of that off. What I'll probably do is use one of those tools that I showed you when we were doing the penguins to really kind of smooth it out. But most of the time you can cut it pretty nice. Oh yeah, Heather, the question of the day is motivation. What motivates you? So Carrie, I asked her the question, how many hours she's working on a new website design and how many hours it takes. She goes, oh geez, I don't know. The number of hours, had to relearn how to do it again, and the packaging price is what's holding me up mostly. Yeah, pricing's always tough. And I am so out of, that's what I started, is building websites back in the day, but I am so out of practice. It would take me, I'm be in your shoes, it would take me a while. Yeah, everybody wants to see your work, Heather. Make sure you drop it in. Even if you have to come back later and put it in your, in the Facebook comments here, feel free to do that. Bye, Ashley. Have a good one. Have a good evening. So Heather on motivation says, I guess it's just remembering that I don't do anything I do just for me. I do it for others. Don't want to let anyone down. Yeah. You know, I started this little, the same way, Heather, I started this little show, just kind of experiment, and people really enjoyed it. And now it's like, I better go live once a day, except for Sundays. Hey, Jim, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you, my friend. We're just sitting around doing a little carving. Well, you didn't have to, but I want you to make sure everybody, Heather, sees your art. So you can do it later if you want. You can stay on Twitch. That's fine. Jim, we didn't get to sit down and have another meal this year at Social Media Marketing World. I missed that. So I'm rounding off that fringe a little bit here. Pretty soon I'll start working on the nose. So I want to make sure I have enough detail and depth on that. You can see on this one, I kind of want to have the thing go all the way around, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that, to have it really get some detail and not have that hole in there like that. I don't know. I'll have to see how the chips fall. Heather's going to be on Twitch and Facebook at the same time because she can. Heather is an old pro at live video. You know, so Jim asked, we'll do if I'm going to Social Media Lima. You know, I don't know, Jim. I've always wanted to go, and I know that's where all the cool people go, but I'm trying to figure out my schedule. And everything's so crazy right now. So George gets motivated by having his alarm clock get him out of bed. George, you eat supper already? I know George by what he says. He watches this while he eats. So I was interested to know what George is eating. So Steve asks, looks very relaxing. Is the glove strong enough to prevent cuts from the knife? Yes. So this is Steve, this is a cut-proof glove. Now, jabbing it in, probably you're still going to get hurt. But I had the wrong kind of... I mistakenly had this chainsaw glove that came with my chainsaw, and I thought it was cut-proof. It wasn't. It was just a canvas glove with like nubs on it. And there are some that are cut-proof, but I was cutting and I was actually cutting this little guy here, and you can tell it split right up here. It's supposed to be not as rounded, and it went chunk right into my hand, and like fat and stuff was coming out. I just can't have nice things. And it wasn't pretty. So this is a cut-proof glove, and they still wear out. I mean, like since I use my thumb so much, they'll wear out still, but it saves me from some heartache. Tacos, George, that sounds good. Taco Tuesday. I'm a night owl. Jim says he does the alarm too. He's a night owl. I used to be a real bad night owl. When I was in college, I was called the Student Firefighter Program. It was really cool. We got to ride the trucks and everything during the summer, and we stayed. They had a place for students in the firehouse, so I got to stay for free housing. And during the school year, I would dispatch, and then also was able to ride the trucks when they needed some backup or whatever. But it screwed up my sleep schedule for years. And I've been a night owl, and just the last couple years, I've been starting to really try to get up earlier. My wife she gets up, I can get up the crack of noon and I feel great, but she's an early bird. And so, trying to do better there. Steve, I just got them. He's asking for a link for where I got the gloves. I'm putting together like a resource page on Amazon, but I just got mine. I went to I think it was Home Depot or Lowe's, and you can look at the gloves, the work gloves, and they'll have different ratings on them, and they'll specifically say rated for glass or whatever. So yeah, that's what I would do. But I'll try to put a link in this resource page too, though. That's a great question. And I'm pretty sure I bought the thumb guard on Amazon from like a company like Flex Cut. My dad's watching. He says, I was a night owl way before college. I don't remember being that. I mean, I like to sleep. I knew that, but I don't know if I was a night owl. I may have been in high school. So rounding the fringe up a little bit. Thanks for coming, Steve. So motivation, Jim, you let the alarm clock motivate you. What do you do like for your, I mean, you have a whole company and agency and stuff. So what do you do to stay motivated? Like when that well runs dry, I'd love to know. And George, like for your photography stuff, what motivates you? What gets you, I mean, is it new people that you want to emulate, or is it I know you don't like to shoot the same thing over and over, but what gets you going? You bet, Steve. No problem. I enjoy this. So one of my newest tools that I've used, and it's from my friend Eric Fisher and Ian Anderson Gray have told me about it, is I've been using Brain FM for different, like being focused during the day, and even doing some some thoughtfulness stuff in the morning when I'm getting going. It's been really good. Like prayer and meditation and stuff like that. It's a incredible app. But focusing, man, when I put that on, I don't know the science behind it, but supposedly there is, and it's been helping me a lot. And I've been hearing a lot of people, since so many people are working from home, that they're struggling with staying focused. So check that out. It's called Brain FM. It's an app, and I think I went ahead and bought I think I got maybe the yearly subscription, but they have one, like a free trial, but it's worth it. So routine, George says routine is what keeps him motivated. So what are you doing now, George, that everybody's routine's kind of gone wacky? So Jim says his motivation is helping people succeed and learning new things. I worked with Angus Nelson on Mindset as well. Angus, yep, great guy. He's a great guy. I think I met him a couple years ago at Jeff Coyne's event in Nashville. Oh, David. Yes, so Heather says, Michael Daniels and I were just saying we'd love to have you on the show again. We need to chat. That would be fun. I would love to do that. We need to figure out a date. Do you do it a certain day? Every week, Heather, or what's the schedule on that? So George says, I am working to enjoy what I do for a living and to be financially comfortable. Yes. So don't forget, I mentioned this earlier, George, that whoever shares this out, the most creative one will win one of these penguins we carved earlier. And I tell everybody, you know, you're in the lead right now. He's doing some creative stuff. He's probably shared the most, but hey, second place gets one too. But George is the guy to beat. So let me see here. This is my, I'm gonna get one of these tools out. So this is kind of my work front gave me this cool wooden box, and I put all my gouges on it. And this is like a flex cut gouge that just can kind of take some wood away. I like it because it's kind of flat. I have another one. It's not a gouge, but yeah, here's one. This is a little wider and a little flatter. You can see it's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to use that. Maybe pull some of this stuff off around the nose. See if I can get that going pretty good. So I just want to make the nose and taking off a little bit of stuff around here around the hat. Just kind of slowly, because I really need to take some more wood off around here. This may be faster than my knife. And you can see it makes little gouges. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not. This may not be flat enough. But I'll take a little more off here. Then maybe use the knife to smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, that's not working just like I want it. So let's see. I'm going to try. Well, I can't see it really. So. Trying to cut around the nose because I need to start really working that. And what I'm doing is just kind of making a little cut all the way around it so I can start building that out a little bit. So, and the key thing is not to slice your fingers off. Maybe that's why people watch this. They're thinking it's just a matter of time before Jeff, you know, sees something that a little danger. So I got some of it off. About 10 minutes. Get some more going. And that's why you put some of the stuff you're gonna have stand out on the point, so you have some more wood to work with. But I'm really gonna have to take some of this hat down a little bit around it so I can see how much I got. So George says now he's just filling up the gallery. So finish up the galleries. Oh yeah, you've been editing so much, George. That's right. Doing a lot. And my neighbor is taking a break from ditch digging. That's what I was hearing out there, Dawn. We've got good neighbors. We've lived here over almost 25 years. Maybe not that much. Close. But we live in an end of a dead-end street. We got great neighbors and great people on all sides of us. It's a pretty awesome place to live, to be honest. So the Tinkering with Tech show is Wednesdays at 5 Eastern. Do you still do the game show, Heather? Still do online game show? There we go. Taking some more wood off. About 8 minutes left. We'll get quite a bit done. Making progress. Seems slow, but we're carving. We're talking with people. It's not about always how much you get done at one time. So about 7 minutes. What do you use to get motivated? I talked about Brain FM. Anybody else have any tools they use? We've got journaling. A lot of people are saying they're journalists, and that's something a lot of people do.
Alarm for what time?
Never mind. I need to remember.
By the way, I can show you a few other things to do with your alarms. Try saying, "Help me get started with alarms."
See, that's when it happens. That's tinkering with tech right there. My Alexa's going off. I need to turn her off. Okay. Oh, yeah. So Heather still does the game show Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's funny that she went off like that because Eric, every once in a while on the Social Media Examiner show when I was on with him, he would say stuff just on purpose to make her like turn off my lights or something. Morning manifest every day. That's a good idea, George. I mean, Jim. I've been really trying to do the making sure, like in the mornings, and really, especially at this time, is being grateful. I think that goes a long way. Thinking how you've been blessed, you know, even just in this country. That changes your perspective quite a bit. Yeah, Eric's a funny guy. Yes, we're doing a show tomorrow. We're doing episode 3 of our Geeks Life podcast. I think we're doing it at 3 p.m. Central Time. So that would be 4 for you, George. But yeah, we're having fun doing that. It's fun to be on a show again with Eric. And he has got an incredible podcast. His Beyond the To-Do List. I think one dropped today or yesterday that had Hyatt on it. It's pretty good. So if you're needing a new podcast to check out, you need to check out his. About 5 minutes. Well, thanks, Heather. I think it's fun. It's amazing how much you can do. I mean, we started with it pretty, it's a block of wood, and then it's coming together. Thanks, Heather. Yeah, it's, I really like Ecamm. I could do this in quite a few different platforms for live video, but Ecamm makes it super simple with my Mac. And I had held off for probably a year to even do this show because I was concerned about how am I going to carve in front of people. And it's just my regular desk that I just set up, and I use my old Logitech Brio to bring in a second camera. And I'm like, this wasn't hard. Why did I wait so long? Oh well, live and learn. But it's a lot of fun. Well, you are too kind, Heather. Thank you so much. We did a lot of this stuff. I mean, back in the day, we were with Ronnie Bincer on Google Plus, learning all this stuff. I think it's just so much practice. Learn how to talk to the camera, and you know. And the other thing is I do so many interview shows that doing this when I get to talk to people like this by myself was kind of out of my comfort zone, and I've always wanted to get better at it. So that's what motivated me to do this. All right, have fun, Don. I'll yell at you through the fence later. Yeah, Heather says these days are feeling like a lot like those old days, only we know more now. Yeah, but so what's so funny is there's still tech issues. That never changes. Yes, so Jim, the Brio is focused on the carving. It's just, I have this really little mini tripod that I'd gotten years ago, and I just have that plugged in, and it's a camera. It's on camera. It's my camera too, and then I can just put this little pip, picture in picture. And the cool thing about Ecamm, you can change the size of it, make it rounded or whatever. So I just focus it on the carving, and with Ecamm, it has like even little built-in picture settings, so I can I lock the focus in and I zoomed it in so people could see the carving a little bit better. So it's just really, and the other thing is it takes me 5 minutes to start the show. There's not a big setup. I am using Restream with this one. I've used Switchboard for a lot of my professional ones, but I like Restream for this because I can pull in the comments from all the different places I'm going with Ecamm. The only issue is if I'm not pulling them in for Twitch or somewhere else, it just gets this is the thing. So if I pull in Heather's comment, I get her icon from Twitch. But if I pull in yours, it just gives me where it's from. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. But since I'm talking to people and just reading the comments, it really doesn't matter. If I was doing this for somebody who is like paying me to produce their show, I'd probably build it in vMix maybe, so I could have people's picture pop up because people love that. Yeah, vMix, when I build a show out and program it in vMix, Heather, I can show their icons and pull it where it's from. So that's really powerful. You see a lot of like Dave and Luria, who taught me tons from live streaming pros. They use vMix a lot for their stuff. Luria does use Ecamm a lot too, but David taught me a lot about that. It's a powerful. I actually bought a whole nother computer. Like when I do stuff for Social Media Examiner and Kim Garst and Tailwind, I'm using pretty much a gaming computer to have the processing power to stream it. But thanks for asking. About 45 seconds. Pretty close. We're getting a lot of stuff done. If you've noticed, I've held off in the nose because it makes me nervous. But I gotta start doing it. No, vMix does not work on a Mac, Jim. That's why I had to get a whole other computer. I went back to the PC world, and I've been pretty impressed with the new versions of Windows, and I thought I'd never say that. But I bought a whole other computer to run the shows on vMix. So Steve says, I host meditations work, a great app, Insight Timer. So yeah, I've heard of that one. I've heard Calm is a good one too, is a good app for getting motivated and stuff. I just like Brain FM because I can have, it's like I can choose like beach sounds over all the way to electronic to classical, and I really like that. Okay, Steve says look up YouTube Slow TV. Okay, I'll have to check that out. We got some great. See, I love crowdsourcing ideas on this show. Oh, we ran out of time. Look at that. Talking, don't even know. So, getting there. Every time making a little bit more progress in only 30 minutes plus, when I forget to turn it off, a day. So, very cool. Don't forget, share out the show. I'm streaming every day except for Sundays. So, but the person who shares the most and does the most creative share wins one of these. So we got first and second place right here. So make sure you guys do that. As always, we got to sharpen our knife at the end, keep it honed up, keep it nice, and we'll just a couple passes on the old sharpening leather, I guess, strop. I wonder why they call it a strop. Don't know. There we go. All sharpened and ready to go. Go back away from the carving camera to me. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thanks for all the great conversation tools. Heather, thank you so much to coming. And I want you guys to remember 4 things today. I want you to remember, first of all, is that we're apart, but we're not alone. Number 2, that make sure to wash your hands, and if you can, hug those in the same house as you if you can able to do that. And lastly, give a prayer for our doctors and nurses who are on the front lines of this thing. And with that, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Bye now.